blistering beaches, blubbering Burrowmaster. Can Chris and Zach handle this box office bonanza? This season on Keystone Copycats, we check out the original blockbuster, Jaws. Hello and welcome to Keystone Copycats with Chris and Zach. I, of course, your host, Zach, and he, of course, your other host.
Hat Harrington here. That fucking opening was legit. Okay, you finally did it. It took seven seasons, but you got one. Here, take me down. I'm a little hot. You got it.
I hate
you. I just told him to turn it up one. I feel like this has happened before.
Almost every episode.
But no, you finally nailed it. You finally got a good opening.
Yeah, I did it.
This is stupendous.
You know what?
And how did it blend last episode when we pretended that it was
Where you pretended it was good? I mean,
Well,
it
I
was
think
fine.
I said, man, what a good opening.
You did, and then I called you out on it. And now you love it. You just want me to sound like a 40s radio detective.
No, you overdo it sometimes.
No. You sounded like one of those tubes that you turn
upside down that you get the fare. Yeah.
That's, yes. That's
What do you call that? The Yahoo?
I call it the oh.
But here's the thing. Everyone knows what you're talking about when you describe it. It doesn't have a name, but if you go, oh, right. Everyone goes, I love that thing. Everyone's, I love that thing. Everyone becomes a morning zoo announcer. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
So I walked in this evening with my Topo Chico, and I forgot I drink them all the time. I drink like two a day, and I don't ever pay attention to what
you said I drink them all the time, and then said like not a crazy number of like per day. 2 a day
of a mineral water
I guess.
is
Okay,
actually
that's fair.
A decent amount, I would assume. I don't think many people drink mineral water every day, let alone 2.
I think many do.
Do they?
Europeans.
Do many? Then you better change your pants.
Oh, man. This guy.
Oh, wait, now you said you're. That means me.
Yeah, you pissed yourself off.
I need to pee my pants. I mean, change my pants.
Both.
Anyway. So I came in with my Topo Chico, and I don't pay attention to what the name is. So you go, Topo Chico, and I have like a Mexican jacket on. So I was looking down, I'm like, I've had this for 2 years.
It was like a sort of quilted hoodie, and I was like, oh, you got your Topo Chico, and he's like, no, I've had this since before I met my wife, and I'm like,
It's like if a poncho grew arms or grew sleeves.
It is, yeah.
So I looked down, I'm like, oh no, I've had this for a couple of years, and I just stared at him and was very confused.
And I was like, no, you're Topo Chico, and you looked and you're like, oh yeah.
But I mean, that's what the jacket should be called, a Topo Chico. But what I was going to tell you is that it was back to back with another dumb moment I had. I just realized that one of my headlights is out in my work truck. Ugh. And I noticed, and then I drove to Lowe's, and when I was leaving, a guy was staring at me. And I was like, all right, this is an asshole up to. So he goes, you got no lights? And I go, oh, yeah, I know. And he points to the front, and I just give him a thumbs up back real confident. And then I turned the corner and went, oh, wait, I didn't turn them on. I have no lights.
Not I have a light out.
Yeah,
it makes you look like the asshole who's like, yeah.
Because here's the thing. He saw me turn them on. He probably thought, this guy really doesn't want to be wrong about it. So I give a big thumbs up. And then when I think I turn the corner, I'm in the clear. I'm like, better turn those lights on.
I better pop them up.
I didn't want that guy to be correct.
Oh, no. Here I go.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I saw something the other day.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take a picture, but everyone was looking at me, so I couldn't. I was in the sheriff's office, and there's a painted picture on the wall of people all crowded around. It's this little city, and they're resuscitating a man, and it's all the cops there. It looks like a kid did it in high school or whatever. They're all resuscitating him, and then in the middle of it is just Jesus. And I'm like, well, that's not okay at all, and at least because it's very clearly, it's not like it's hidden Jesus where they snuck him in. It's very much like Jesus in the state office.
The reason that this man is having his life saved is because
No,
this man gave his
the
life.
police
I get it.
postponed his life, and then Jesus saved his life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Doctors don't save lives. They just keep the heart beating for a little longer until Jesus welcomes you into salvation. Unless you're bad, and then he's not going to.
You'll burn for all eternity.
Well, you were bad.
Right.
I don't understand.
I am bad.
Punishment there would be.
My daughter has reached a point where
you know time that doesn't even exist. That's how much we hate you. That's how mad we are.
So my daughter has reached a point where when I do something that she doesn't like or I say no to her, she'll say, "You are a bad daddy." I'm like, "Jeez."
Ooh, bad daddy.
Don't make it that way.
I want you to walk in with chaps like, "Ooh, it's bad daddy."
Or my fringe leather jacket.
And your Topo Chico.
My Topo Chico over it.
What if you just pitch that on and she's like, "You're a bad daddy." Like, you look badass, daddy.
Stop making my daughter horny, you creep.
My sister has a tattoo on her arm, and it says, "Don't forget me." It says, "Love daddy." And I was looking at when she was, after she gave birth and she was all zonked out, and I wanted to bring it up to her because it's the worst possible time to be like, "Who's love daddy?"
You're like, "Is that what you call your husband? Your love daddy?"
I really want to turn that comma into a star or something so it just looks like "love daddy." Mm-hmm. If she doesn't listen to the show, she's gonna get really pissed.
I'm sending this one specifically to her. I'm gonna tag when I post it on Facebook. I'm gonna tag her in it.
Good.
She got brought up.
Just start tagging her instead. Instead of me, just tag Kate. Just tag Katie and everything.
I don't tag you.
Oh, good.
So how you doing?
Oh my God, I don't know. I don't know whether I'm coming or going anymore.
Oh boy,
I'm so busy.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell you what I've been doing.
No, please
don't
don't
tell anybody. What are you been doing?
Oh no.
How are we doing this fine fall evening?
It's winter.
No, we recorded this episode early.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's October. We did all the Halloween ones at once, and then all the Jaws season at once.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
You got nothing? You did nothing?
I got some Halloween candy.
Trick or treat.
Carved several pumpkins and ate them.
Okay, I mean,
carved them up, roasted them.
Jesus Christ.
Ate them.
All right, let me look through my notes.
You ever eat a pumpkin?
You ever had French toast? You know it's not.
I don't like French toast. It's not for me.
What?
When we're talking like sweet breakfast
breads. I had a
breads,
story, but wait a second. What the fuck are you talking about?
No.
Why?
When we're talking sweet breakfast breads, it's at the bottom of the big three, you know?
No, you're just wrong.
Waffle's number one.
Yeah, I was going to say yours is like
waffle is number one, of course.
Well, what's even in between? A muffin?
No, pancake. I'll take a pancake over a French toast.
That's so much filler.
The worst pancake is still just fine, and French toast, you never know.
Pancakes are always just like, what am I doing? How did they
it's like,
go
why
so
did
wrong?
I eat all this?
I'm
so full.
You eat a piece of cake and you're like, that was great.
Well, I still think a pancake is delicious, but I just feel so logy afterwards.
I still think that if you put frosting on a pancake, you'd be like, the ratio's all off. Yeah. And then you don't want a thin layer of icing to try and balance it.
No, here's what you do.
That's even dumber.
You do a thin layer of icing, and then you roll it up.
That's just a crepe.
And eat it like a Swiss cake roll.
Crêpe.
No, crepes are much thinner than a traditional pancake.
What's the one with the cream in it then? What am I thinking of?
A Swiss cake roll?
Maybe. I mean, that's not it, but we can talk about that now. No, when I was when we were on our honeymoon, I went to order French toast, and I was like, "Yeah, let me order French toast." He goes, "You know, it's not really French toast, right?" And I was like, "Oh no," because
what does that mean?
No, that's why I was so thrown off. And he was like, he jumped on it real fast. He goes, "You know, it's not really French toast. It's like the one that they bake in a dish or whatever, and it is a certain style. I can't remember what the name of it is." But he was like, "You know, it's not French toast, right?" I'm like, "Really?" Because I could have sworn.
Why do you call it that? Why does it say that on the menu?
What is it? A bowl of oatmeal?
Why is the man lying to me right now, and you're giving me the inside skinny? Like,
I don't understand. You know it's golden grams, right? Like that's not close enough, man.
You know they're actually made out of silver. Like what? I don't get it.
Yeah, I have like the problem is like I need to start like getting some of these stories from a few weeks back or like, really a month ago. Like I need to start getting them
a month in advance?
Because I looked into my notes and I'm like, oh, I have a lot of fucking stories from my honeymoon. I need to start kind of tossing them in here. So every now and again, you're gonna get an old story. It's an old honeymoon story.
All right, next week, special emergency Oops All Stories episode.
No, you're not going to believe how many fucking notes I have. And that's why I think we need to do that bonus episode of trying to figure them out. Because I looked through and I'm like, ooh, it's a lot of them now. All
right,
a lot of these stories.
Oops All Stories. We'll get Oops All Stories.
Yeah. Yeah,
we can do that whenever you feel like. You just let me know.
One's just extra long snorkel, and I'm like, okay. I mean,
so
like,
here's
yeah,
okay.
I mean, I already got it, but like, why? Why did I write that?
So just go into your notes, copy all the ones like the backlog, not like the ones you're saving, like going to use. And you send them to me, and then I'll go through them with you on the show and ask you what each one is.
I have 3 months worth of old notes that I'm like, I don't know how to work it in, man.
Yes.
So,
Oops All Stories.
Here's a little glimpse of Oops All Stories. So I have extra long snorkel, and what I think it meant was that I didn't know how snorkeling worked.
No.
I'd say as a kid, but even when I went snorkeling, I was like, I don't know how this is going to work. And it's because I didn't know the difference between snorkeling and scuba diving. I thought they were the same thing. No. So I thought like what you did is like you just brought like a lot of lengths of like a foot connections. So when you're like, oh, something's down there, I need to go closer. You keep clicking them on. But like there's got to be another guide because once you get below, your arms, that was always perplexing to me. I'm like, oh, that's why I always see a picture of them doing it together. But then I'm like, how does the other person get down that deep? And I was thinking you got to do it one at a time, like an old elevator that can only hold so much weight. So you got your friend up there, click, click, click. And then as you want to come up, you can just hoist the whole thing up. But if you pull too fast...
They'll get the bends.
Also, you get the bends. No, it'll detach midway through, and then you'll drown. So I don't know how you'd make the click together, things where they'd lock. I guess it's like a thread.
No, it's not screwed together.
But then that would let as you're threading it together, water's getting in. So I guess that wouldn't work.
Okay, no, here's the thing.
Oops All Stories.
Here's how it works. We're going to do an Oops All Stories, and then we'll do an Oops All Inventions, because that's an invention.
What, the extra long snorkel?
So what you do is you make these like 1-inch sections that you just screw onto the top, and they just have a little button that you like click, and they extend out.
Oh, like a telescope.
They're like scrunched in, yeah.
But how you can make them watertight?
They don't. Because they're like accordion. They're not telescoping. They're like accordion.
Oops, long snorkel.
Like one of those crinkle straws.
But like, how do you? I don't know.
It's like a crinkle straw.
I think I need this to be invented before I can get it, and I can't get it until I know how it's invented. No, it's not dumb at all.
No, it is dumb.
Because here's the thing: if someone grabbed to the top of it, they could like use like a big oar, like they could row you, like so. So you really need to have the trust factor. I think that's what it actually is. It's a trust.
Until more people trust each other, you can't invent this because it's too dangerous.
No, it's a real trust thing. Like you have to be on a certain level, and that's how you gain the trust. Is like you go scuba diving with your super snorkel, and then like as they're rowing you out, they choose whether to send you to a dolphin or a shark, and that's how you build the trust. Is you're like he didn't send me to a shark today. You know what I mean by oaring? Like when you grab the top and then you like move the guy towards something, like a shark or a dolphin.
Oh.
Maybe a whale.
Maybe a turtle.
The fucking assholes. The whole reason I went snorkeling is because I wanted to swim with turtles.
Don't tell this same story.
What?
Where you got scared and you did the snorkeling wrong and drowned yourself.
No. It's not that one.
Okay.
It's like when I was out there, after we all went snorkeling and went on the super slide and came back in, they were all like, hey, if you see anything, it's enjoyable for everyone that you announce it. Yeah, see something, say something. So
like
to the captain who was driving, I was on the front and I was the only one up there. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, I'm like a fucking sea turtle. And it pointed, because he was like, hey, if you see anything, tell us. I'm like sea turtle. And he goes, cool. And keeps driving and doesn't tell anybody. So I'm like, what? Why did you tell me?
Fuck you then. He wanted to have a little secret with you. He wanted to have a special little thing to share with you.
He said it. He was like, oh, cool. That's good for you.
He's like, fuck you. How about
you
that?
Saw that turtle. We're already done snorkeling.
I don't care that you saw a turtle.
Because I guess he thought it was really dumb. It was like how everyone saw something. And then finally I went, hey, look, there it is. And he's like, yeah, we know. You already went snorkeling.
He's right.
No one cares about that extra turtle.
I saw a photo online recently of a great white shark, like a really big one, that had choked itself to death trying to eat a giant tortoise. Just got wedged in there. I was like,
Nice.
oh, God.
Did the tortoise live?
No, it's dead, too.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's
they're
a
both
shame.
dead.
That would have been sad if he got wedged in there because obviously he's trying to eat him but can't break the shell, and then the tortoise has to wait till he rots away to get out.
Let me ask you something. Who decided that they would, like, tell us what propaganda conspiracy campaign is behind? No, is behind us thinking as children that at some point a Tyrannosaurus Rex fought a Triceratops.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's a thing. When I was a kid,
They were in the Cretaceous period. They lived together. What are you getting at?
it
was Stegosaurus that was not correct.
No. But
because they were in two different time periods.
But what people would say is like, oh, the Tyrannosaurus Rex was the mightiest of the dinosaurs, but the Triceratops could defeat it because of its horns or something. Like, there was a whole thing, and I didn't make this up.
Yeah, I mean,
It's real.
I'm following that. There was a lot of movies where they fought, but like what?
I didn't see any movies. I just remember people talking about it when I was like a kid.
Land of the Last Dinosaur.
Never saw it.
Even though it made no sense.
I'm sorry,
for so many reasons it made no sense. By the way, if you ever seen that movie, a lot of things don't make sense in that.
I haven't.
But it made no sense how they were like. At the end, they just go off screaming, going, "You can't kill the T-Rex! It's the last one!" And you're like, "Well, what makes you think that T-Rex was the last one? Why on earth did that make any sense?"
But also, who fucking cares?
But okay, so you made us think that there was a big epic battle, and then they didn't. What's your?
Well, I don't know. There's no way
didn't?
of knowing.
What are you talking
Is my
about?
point.
What do you mean? They have fossils. They lived at the same time.
Oh, yeah. No,
So
the
I don't-
fossils of them fighting. The
No, not
fossils.
fighting,
That's
I'm
what I'm
saying-
saying. I don't give a shit that they lived at the
So-
same time. That's fine. I understand that.
Because we assume anything like anything with a predatory nature probably tried to eat something that was an. I don't even understand what you're getting at. Why would it not? I guess we don't know for certain, but so what?
No, but my point is that, like, they made it seem like in the same way that, like, a cartoon cat hates a cartoon dog, like the T-Rex and the Triceratops were, like, enemies, you know?
Yeah, but some dogs
Like G.I. Joe and
cats.
Cobra.
Yeah,
I guess, but
they
like,
are enemies. They hate
G.I.
each
Joe and
other.
Cobra, yeah.
If I saw a fossil of G.I. Joe and Cobra, I'd be like, they hated each other. Look at that head.
Yeah. Oh, it's so shiny.
Yeah, no one likes that.
No.
That was a bad
more
example
you
because
know.
I don't remember enough about G.I. Joe.
No.
Use something else.
I don't either.
Use something else that I kind of remember. Skeletor
He-Man
and
and
He-Man.
Skeletor.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. That's it. Because I think
where I
they
was
hate
going.
each other, but I don't know why.
Turtles and Shredder.
See, there you go. He wants turtle soup. He needs it. If I saw, if I saw, I
love that it's Uncle Phil.
I saw Shredder, I'd be like, that guy probably hates turtles, especially if they're mutant
That
ones.
motherfucker hates turtles.
I can just tell.
That's how I feel.
I just look at him and I'm like,
He's got a
get it.
face like he hates turtles.
His eyes, mainly his eyes.
Yeah, that's the part that I noticed
and
the
then
most.
the mouth that's all scratched up by a rat. That means he hates turtles.
I never saw that part. I only saw the mask over his face.
What?
The shiny, like, that's all. That's it.
No.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the movie now. I switched up.
The second movie?
No, the first one. The
first
At the
movie.
end when he takes it off, he goes.
Oh, I don't remember
and
that.
Raph goes, "It's him."
No, I don't remember that at all. I think you made it up.
And
I
then
think it's from Turtles in Time.
And then old decrepit Splinter just kind of flips him off a roof real easy. Almost like you anticlimactic, like, wow, that sucks.
Well, he's good.
I remember being a kid and being like, that sucked.
I remember when I was a kid. You remember, like,
and it wasn't believable because you're like, you didn't want Shredder to win, but Splinter shouldn't have beat him like that. That didn't
it
make
was
any
just soft.
sense.
It was
Yeah.
just weak. But so I remember when I was in second or third grade for Christmas, you would bring in like a gift. You'd bring in like one toy or whatever, do like an exchange.
Okay.
And I remember I brought in this. Oh, I brought in the Ninja Turtles, the movie, on VHS, And at a certain point, all that was left was that movie that I knew was the movie and something else. And I went for the other thing, even though I was like, I should definitely take the. But I was like, well, it's my present. I shouldn't get it, But like, I don't know. What do you do in that situation?
I don't know.
I'd rather have the movie.
Burn it all.
I think what I ended up getting was like it was another Ninja Turtle thing. It was like Leonardo in like the samurai outfit.
Everyone
from
had
like
that
Turtles
one.
in Time. Yeah, I had that one.
It must have been at Toys R Us when all of our
Yeah.
moms were going shopping.
Yeah.
And then they got, everyone had that one in particular. And also, I had Donatello, Spaceman Donatello. That had
I had that one.
yeah. Once again, so like clearly these were all the only ones at Toys R Us.
I think that mine was like from Walgreens.
No,
That's what I think.
Even better. But that made me think about the show and tell I had when I was in first or second grade, and I was so proud of this pirate ship because I didn't have like cool Legos. I had I had to make my own Legos and try and make them as close as possible. And it was like a big rectangle, like rainbow colored Legos, back when Legos didn't have green kind of thing. And I took the wing of an airplane and made it into the sail, and I was so proud of this pirate ship, this square pirate ship. And I thought it was so cool because I had I rigged up so it looked like a pointed front.
Yeah.
And no one was on board with how cool it was.
Everyone thought it sucked.
Because I had to use recycled parts, and I was trying to show it off, and I was so proud. And that was the first time I remember being feeling disappointment and being like, it's not. Why doesn't everyone love me?
Why doesn't everyone love my homemade
pirate ship?
pieced together shitty pirate
It's
ship?
definitely just a rainbow minus the green pirate ship.
It's
a loud and proud pirate ship, and I couldn't understand why everyone wasn't applauding.
Why don't you like my square ass? Why don't you like my 8-bit fucking rainbow gay pride pirate ship?
But what they didn't understand is that we were pretty, when I was little, I remember being poor, having, I don't know if I told this story, but we got the Ninja Turtles cereal and we cut out the characters on the back of the box to fight with them because we didn't have the real toys. Then later we got Bebop and Rocksteady, and I thought it was insane that we had real toys. I swear to God, this is real. You can ask one of my relatives. We used to play with cardboard.
Yeah.
It wasn't any toys we had, but we
guess.
weren't allowed to have the toys because we didn't have the money for it, so we would play with the cardboard, and it was sad.
Yeah.
So they didn't understand the recycling thing you had to do when you're I took all my Legos, I made this thing, and I'm finally happy because I have the childhood I need.
And everyone else was like...
Everyone's like, we have money, you poor
They're like,
peasant.
you don't have the pirate set?
That was so sad. Yeah. Anyway, I think the wing worked fine of the plane. I think it would have been a great sail.
I got a pirate ship at a certain point when I was a kid, and it was for Christmas one year, and it was a big, you get a big present.
Yeah.
So I got a Mega Block pirate ship, and when I tried to put it together, it didn't fit right. There was those big flat plates. I put it down, and it just was warped and just didn't work. And so we returned it. We took it back to the toy store at the mall, and I got the Lego one, but it was I don't know, man. That Mega Block, how do they get by with that?
Mega Blocks are some bullshit.
They're trash. I hate them, but
Well, this has been Memories.
This is Lego Talk
with Chris and Zach. And this is Mega Talk.
Ooh, oops, all Lego stories.
What are we gonna get at this week?
Oops, all sad childhood memories.
Oops, sad poor kids with their Target birthday party. Or no, not Target. What was it? Walgreens.
Walgreens, yeah.
All right, so what do we do this week?
This week,
oops, all sadness.
Oh man. This week we watched First Blood from 1982, directed by Ted Kotcheff, starring Sylvester Stallone, Brian Dennehy, Richard Crenna, Bill McKinney, and David Caruso.
R. This is the first R movie.
R. Was it? Was it an R?
Yeah, it was R. I saw it on the thing. Saw it on the thing.
On the VHS box you got from Blockbuster?
No. I was on HBO Max. You didn't put out how do you watch the movie?
I rarely do that. That's not a thing that I do.
I had a special list once. Once you told me, you started telling people where they could watch them, and then you just stopped.
Oh, well, I hadn't looked it up yet.
But now it's already the week of, so if you didn't see it, it was on HBO Max. You can go back and watch it. I'd never seen this movie. I've never actually seen the first Rambo.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I didn't spell it right.
I don't think I
spelled
had
it with an F.
Frambo?
First Blood.
Frambo?
Why are the other ones Rambo, but this isn't Rambo?
Because the movie's called First Blood. Do you know what the second movie is called?
Why are the other ones called Rambo?
Do you know what the second movie is called?
Second Blood?
No, it's called Rambo, First Blood Part 2.
That's pretty good. That's exciting. Forgive me. I didn't know this was also based off a novel.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Richard Creighton.
I happen to rip my notes right across the name.
Oh,
I
that's
have
the
no
name.
fucking idea.
Yeah, I don't know
who the author is, but it's a novel.
Yeah,
a novelle to the layman.
No, to yourself.
So it's a book. It's a book, man.
It's word paper.
So I don't know.
You got a synopsis for us?
I don't know if this. I'm just gonna jump into it. I don't know if this music is known by other people because I've never seen.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know if the score is one that if you put it on, people would know or not. Because when it first turned on, I was like, "Oh, is this the theme?" I don't know. And then it kind of played similar.
There was some stuff that I kind of thought like, "Oh, this is kind of." It didn't take that for me.
Yeah.
Are you trying to jump into tropes?
No, I don't want to jump into tropes. It was just the first thing because the opening was. I liked '80s movies because they kind of just go for it. They're like, here's the movie. We're gonna go ahead and start
in the exact same way that Jaws did. It does. It dives right into it, and it ends with like huge crazy shit happens,
and then
it's over, and that's it.
Yeah,
it's not like how does Rambo reintegrate into society?
If we had a trope of like open close, just action, action from start to finish, it would be like got it.
It's wild, like. And
I thought the same thing when the credits rolled. I was like, oh, we're done. Okay.
It's like, oh shit, they're just walking off, and he's like got that blanket around his shoulders. Okay.
Yeah. A little bit of this movie, I was walking in and out, I was making vegetable juice, and the part where he was tumbling down the part where he was hanging on the cliff.
Yeah.
I looked back and saw him tumbling down the mountain, and I went, well, this movie's far fetched. And my son was like, that was a rock. And I was like, oh, because he had the poncho on. So I thought it was him hanging and then tumbling down the hill. And then he caught himself again. I'm like, bullshit.
No. He just jumped off into a tree.
No. I mean, I saw that part too. I will say, I have not been a Stallone fan. Like, I know he's good.
I think. Yeah, I'm not like a super fan.
Like, Judge Dredd's great. I know he was good in Rocky.
Demolition Man, Rocky.
Yeah, correct. I've always liked him, but it's never been like great. I will say that when he jumped off the tree, and it's as realistic as it can be for what it is.
Yeah.
But when he hits his ribs and yells Jesus, I'm like, that's fucking good.
He's good.
I think he played that part really well. Well, normally we're so used to nowadays, like with the Marvel movies, people falling through so much death, and they just get up and you're like, whatever. But when he hit that and screamed Jesus, you kind of felt it like, wow, good for him. He's actually a good actor. This movie especially.
He's a good actor in Rocky too.
Gave me I think he really sealed it for himself in my eyes of like, I like him. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
So I will say this movie pushed him over the edge.
Oh, good.
Like over the edge.
This movie pushed him over the edge, which he then climbed down and jumped off into a tree.
But just like over the edge was kind of funny because like just like that, I'm like, it's silly. He's a silly person who does silly movies. But then this one, you're like, no, this is great.
No, this is a serious movie. This is a serious movie with real social commentary about how Vietnam vets are treated. Like it's a real movie.
And like I said, I watched this with my 11-year-old son, and there's a lot of questions that come up with PTSD. So the whole time we're watching this, I'm actually having to explain what Vietnam was and the reasoning and the fake war and blah, 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 and all the political reasons and aspirations. And then, like, the trauma and
spread of communism.
Yeah, just, like, his whole demeanor and, like, how he feels at the end. I will say, I did not... This movie was good.
Yeah, it's really
I liked
good.
this movie the whole way through. The ending fucking nightcap that I'm like, oh, my God, I was not ready... for his mental anguish at the end. I'm so happy they did it.
No, that was great.
Such a good anchor, and it took this movie from good to great in my eyes. Because all of a sudden you start
tipping your hat on a trope.
You start seeing his character development at the end. You feel for him. You know where he's coming from. He seems vulnerable.
Yeah.
And also for Sylvester Stallone, you're like, this is fucking epic. Like his delivery is perfect. He really understood this character.
Yeah.
And it's no longer just an action movie. You want to see another one.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, oh fuck,
you want to see what happens.
I'll see the series.
You'll watch Rambo: First Blood Part 2?
Yes, I will. That's my son was like, is there more? I'm like, I think there's like 5 of these fucking
There's
things.
so many. And like by the end, it's like it's insane. It's like the way that like...
Is it like Die Hard?
It's like Die Hard. No, it's the best comparison is Fast and Furious, where it's like the first movie is like they're stealing DVD players and digital cameras, and then in like the 8th one, it's like
nuclear missile.
They're on a super secret spy mission where they're parachuting their cars out of an airplane onto a mountain road, and like it's fucking insane. Driving their car out like through the Burj Khalifa into another fucking like it's insane.
I was gonna make a comment. I realized I didn't do the synopsis, so I've just been doing the synopsis that I see. I don't even.
Oh sure.
I don't look for them anymore. Sylvester Stallone stars in the 1982 action classic as a one-time war hero becomes a hunted man. I did not fucking know that the hunted man was going to be the sheriff's department. I thought, I'm like, okay,
no, it's like he's
going to start like here, and then it's going to like somehow, because he's a Green Beret, like the Viet Cong are going to find him and fucking, I don't know. I'm like,
literally
shit,
how he got treated at home as like, you're a fucking vagrant, Rambo. Get out of my town. You can't stop for lunch here.
Here's the problem I have. One of my first notes is the sheriff makes a lot of sense, though. Like
he doesn't, though. He's just like, hey, can I just fucking get something to eat?
It was before it went bonkers, because I'm like, listen, if I'm the sheriff of this time, it's a nice little town, and I see a vagrant, I'm like, hey, listen, dude.
He's literally just walking.
You a ride across town. We just don't want any trouble, man. No, like whatever. Oof. But when he's like,
it's a bad look.
That American flag, and I'm like, what's wrong with the American
flag? Some people take it the wrong way. You're wearing it like because he thinks he's a hippie who's wearing it as like a joke.
I guess
disrespecting it or something.
It really doesn't look like a hippie.
No, well, the long hair, I guess.
But I love when he turns around on the bridge. I thought that was so good. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, no, that's badass. That's the first. That's the first like
with purpose.
That's the first sign that it's like, oh, this guy is like he's determined, and he's like he understands that it's like I can go fucking get something to eat, man. Like why am I not allowed to get something to eat? Like what the fuck? You know,
I don't care if he's a Green Beret or not. When that one deputy hits him in the spine with a nightstick, I'm like,
oh my god.
I'm like, here's the thing. I get what they were trying to do there, but I'm like, you really hit him in the spine. Like, I think that would cripple a man. Like, I don't know.
You never know.
But whatever. And also, his wounds, when they were like, oh my God,
all scratched up.
Once he got into them, like, those looked really fresh. This is not,
the ones on the back did.
They didn't do a good job of making those look like scars. They look like this happened. Like,
pretty fresh,
Vietnam was 2 days ago. He just got out of that POW camp, and then he was here now.
Well, which obviously is not the case, because it's like, he said something like it's been like 6 years or something, and he's been trying to find his like guys or whatever.
Yeah, did you like that Mark Marrow mustache? His
man.
His torture mustache?
Oh, man.
You think that's why
he looked insane in that.
You think that's why they were so mad? They're like, we can't grow a mustache that
They're
sharp.
Like, why the fuck do you have you look like J.K. Simmons with a fucking Samuel L. Jackson Pulp Fiction wig on.
It was like the pencil drawn on mustache and went all the way down to his chin. You're like, wait, what happened, dude? Like, was he like undercover as a Green Beret, and that's what he thought the Viet Cong looked like?
No, he had some bad intel.
He's like, hang on, if I draw a crazy mustache on, they'll be so distracted that I'm not Asian. They'll be so.
Yeah, keep going.
I already said what I was going to say. I better stop. Never mind. I'm going to jump off this topic real fast.
Good. Those flashbacks, I'm glad you brought it up. Like, I thought they were pretty cheesy, but I think they still worked, you know?
Yeah, After watching this, some of my notes in the beginning didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Not a strong look for your hero, making him walk and not have a car.
Oh, boy.
Which, once again,
it's just
basically,
it's just like a Vietnam. You're fucking the sheriff. You're the sheriff.
I'm the town not wanting to be bothered by him. Yeah, I get it. Like, this guy's...
Maybe you should get in your car and get out of here, Rambo.
Hey, John Rambo, where's your vehicle? Nowhere? Get out of here, then. You
get in mine and I'll drive you away from here.
You need a car to get rejected from this town, buddy. Was that the whole town? Like, he shot two power...
Yeah, no, he fucking ended that town.
Power
converters.
Town converters.
Yeah.
Shot two of them, and then the town was like, fuck.
Now,
the only thing that had power was the police station and the gun store.
Yeah, that's all you need in a small town. He was going to eat lunch at the gun store. Cop wouldn't let him.
I had this idea, and then I was backed by an 11-year-old boy.
Oh, boy.
Who was like, oh, yeah, you're definitely right. He's knocking over the bullets. And I'm like, what's he doing? I said, maybe he's trying to look for a secret cabinet or something. And then then does it again and then puts the gunpowder out. I'm like, oh, genius. He's going to light that thing and then the bullets are randomly going to go off. So they're going to think, oh, Rambo's in that store shooting. So he's going to have everyone run to that store and they'll think, you know, he can run around and then they'll be like, where is he now? And then bang, bang. And they'll be like, oh, he must be back at the gun store. I didn't think, oh, that's gunpowder. It'll explode.
Well, no, but you're partially right.
I know.
Because the bullets are going off and they're hearing it and like looking over there like, oh, what's going on?
I thought they were periodically going to like, pew, pew.
like he set up like a line of gunpowder with a couple bullets every couple feet.
Like they wouldn't know where they were coming from. Like, oh man, it's coming from everywhere.
Oh no! He's got us surrounded.
when the sheriff fell, like, or when he shoots him from below, I do it without visually doing it like a walkthrough of this movie or I almost said ride and decide. Oh, a watch along.
Ride and decide. What the fuck is that?
When you get a hooker to go to ride and decide.
Did you learn this from Pretty Woman?
Yeah, I was at the zoo.
You were the Jason Alexander.
When he's shooting from below and hits the sheriff, I'm like, oh, I hope he's not dead. I'm like, that's the most anticlimactic death ever. He finally gets his man. He destroys this fucking city, basically. Yeah. Finally gets his man, and he shoots him from below and kills him. I'm like, oh,
shoots him in the dick.
Sad. No, he stabbed that one guy in the dick.
Yeah, he did.
Like, they did so many close-ups, and I'm like, oh, that stabbed him in the dick. It's in his thighs and his dick. And then I'm like, shitty move, Rambo. Like, he set that contraption up. He knows, knew man. Where he was going to get him.
With the sharpened sticks.
Yeah, he hit him right in the penis.
Right in the dick.
Yeah, he had some real predator going on there. But, like, why didn't he, like... If he wanted to be humane, which clearly he didn't, he would have done like the chest or went through the heart or the head.
He wasn't trying to kill him.
He just wanted it right in the dick.
Just wanted to stop him.
At that point, in the shins would stop him. The gut would be painful. Probably kill you.
Though. That'll get you.
Dick was like, you'll live, but you wish you hadn't.
So, okay. This is something that I don't get, that I didn't get from the movie. You know, like I never got a good answer to this question, and I'll see if like you have a better take. But why is the sheriff so fucking horny to get Rambo? Like, what is it? Why does it matter?
I don't like how you phrased it. I wish you wouldn't say horny so much.
Okay, why is he so randy to get Rambo?
That's fine.
It's worse. I feel like Austin Powers.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
Like, for a minute, you're like, oh, the sheriff's going to be the good bad guy. Because he keeps telling him, don't kill him and all this stuff.
Oh, and no, when he's like, I wanted to fucking kill him myself.
And then he turns and you're like, all right, I don't know why you weren't like this the whole time. I don't get the revenge thing when your guys were crooks.
Hey, they drew first blood.
They drew first blood. Let's just go into it.
Oh, badass.
Was that it? Was that the trope?
That's it.
Okay.
That's the catchphrase. That's my son of a bitch.
I kind of had...
They drew first blood, but also...
You know why it is? Because he says it twice. And obviously it's the name of the movie. But when he says it, you're like, okay. But then when he says it to himself, you're like, okay, that might be.
The one that I think could also work for it is when he gets Brian Dennehy, he's got the fucking knife on him, and he says, in town, you're the law. Out here, it's me.
I was like, oh, yeah. A recut where he turns back and goes, law? They need to do that for Eddie Stallone fan.
I got news. You're they.
Ooh.
You need to do it.
Well, I don't think I could get my hands on it.
Yeah, no, you definitely can.
That VHS copy?
Yep.
I just don't know.
The one...
It's kind of like it's a temple or what's the first one? Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, you got to do the sandbag toss for a VHS.
Yeah.
Anymore, or else you'll die.
Death
by bolt.
We'll all die.
One day. One day we'll all turn to dust sack.
Ooh, yeah. Sounds hot. Horny for it.
Should we end it there?
Well, thanks. I really like this movie. It's fucking cool.
The thing. I stepped all over my notes. Also, I don't know what the tropes are. So I did a couple tropes that I could remember.
Oh, because I didn't send you the list. That's
I don't know what they are.
Yeah, I didn't send you the list. Okay, hang on. I'll go through them.
I did put number 5, sex with a kid. I didn't see a damn kid in this movie.
Okay, that's not one of them. Okay, number 1. We'll get into them. We got number 1, Demea, as you.
Demea.
So that's
what was it though? What did that mean?
Sniveling coward motivated by money or personal gain. And I don't know that he has to be a coward.
You know, I'm going to go no.
No, I said yes. The sheriff is the mayor.
A coward.
The sheriff is okay. Here's the
mayor.
So yeah, because he's the guy that's going up against your hero.
Yeah, but he's not
for no real reason.
I see it, but that's kind of more like it's just a villain.
He's just an antagonist.
And that's once again, it's not like I have to give you permission. It's okay that you're saying
no, I said
get
yes.
it, but I'm saying no on it.
So number 2 is the iconic song or music. I said no.
Also, yeah, I had a question mark because that's why I was asking about the opening. I didn't know.
I said no because like I thought like, well, if I have ever seen this movie, it was 20 years ago or more, you know? And so, like, as I'm watching it, I thought, like, you know, maybe I'll hear something and be like, oh, shit, that's the Rambo music. I didn't know that. But no, it was like,
throughout,
there was some good music.
I just
liked
didn't
it.
recognize if
no,
it was.
it wasn't enough.
I also didn't want to go too hot and heavy on that because I know we have some movies in lined up that I'm going to, I already know that are
There's some that are like, oh,
off.
this is huge.
Yeah.
So
actually, let's put it down now. Do you think over under on the theme music? I'm going to say over.
Over what? You got to set a number for an over under.
5.
5? Oh, I'll say over. I'll take the over.
Well, I mean, like half, like over half. Which
yeah,
is
no, I'll take the over.
Well, actually, that is 5, isn't it?
Yeah.
I actually said.
I'll take the over.
Well, I'm over.
I think 6.
I'm over because the audience likes me more. I'm over.
Suspiciously handsome.
You keep saying that.
Yeah, because I like the Armageddon Deep Impact episode popped up in my like Apple Podcasts the other day, and I listened
back
to
and
it.
listen to old episodes of us.
Yeah, sometimes, especially like with a guest like our good friend Sarah Davis, who was so great and funny on that episode. And in your closing argument, you stumbled through and said something about being suspiciously handsome.
It's not normal.
No, I'm suspicious of it.
We did have a trope in here that's like unknown fear or ambiguous something.
No.
What's the other trope? What's the next trope?
The next trope is Chekhov's gun.
Nice. What does that mean?
So is there a Chekhov's gun? So Chekhov's gun is the principle that if you see a gun in the first act, it must be fired by the third act.
That headband.
I said yes.
The headband for the flame.
I said the hunting knife.
Okay, yeah.
Because they make a big deal out of the hunting knife. What do you hunt with this? Anything.
I do like that he had the needle and thread in the.
Yeah, no, that was cool. Like really handy. That's a great knife.
One of my notes did say that fucking headband took it up a level too. That was before the ending, of course, but I'm like, that headband really added to this.
Yeah. So.
Oh no, that's what it was. It wasn't double down. It wasn't first blood. It wasn't they drew first blood that hit the trope. It was the headband. I'm like, yeah, headband.
So like as soon as they like get out in the woods, so like Rambo, you know, Rambo's looking for his buddy from Vietnam. He shows up at this house, finds out that he's dead. He died from cancer, side effect of like Agent Orange. And he's like, oh, fuck. And he's like, you know, he's like wandering. He's leaving.
I forgot about Agent Orange till this moment. I did a presentation in 10th grade.
Did you really?
Orange, yeah.
Huh.
And all of a sudden I was like, how the fuck did I forget about that?
Yeah.
And how does everyone just like, killed a bunch of people? Like, yeah, but they were spraying it. Like,
it's
they
awful.
had them spraying it. Like,
chemical warfare is like...
Was there a lot of lawsuits for Agent Orange?
I don't think so. I think after that, like, part of the, like, international, like, war conventions is, like, chemical weapons are now, like, a war crime. Like, if you use that, it's like...
Well, yeah, but, I mean, it was for clearing the paths for vegetation, but clearly it was, like, they knew.
No, they killed people with it, too.
Huh.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Internet was new when I was doing my research.
Yeah. It was mostly slowly appearing single line nudes.
Oh, but when you saw those nips.
No,
like
not
when
again.
It was going to the down, it was like loading up, and you're like, oh, I'm halfway there.
So he's dead. Rambo's like, oh, I'm just going to like go on my way. And he fucking starts walking through the town, and the sheriff, Brian Denny, he picks him up and is like, we don't like
you
your
mean
kind.
Tommy Boy's dad?
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'll drive you 30 miles to the next town to get something to eat.
Which is nice.
No, it's shitty. And he drops him off, and then Rambo fucking gets out and starts walking back.
Starts making
that way.
trouble. That's what he does.
And so you can't be
Here's
on the side of the
thing.
sheriff.
He really does destroy a town.
He does. But so then like the sheriff is like, well, fuck this. I'm going to fucking arrest you for being a vagrant. He takes him back.
The problem I have is the gas station. Why does he blow up the gas station? Because clearly, like, that's just someone's business. And back in the day, they probably didn't even have insurance. So he
doesn't give a shit.
He just ruins someone's
No, the town is done because they decided to give this man the authority to do something like this. So they're all complicit.
Not everyone elected him.
They all did, every single one.
No.
He was voted unanimously. I noticed there was a framed newspaper in the sheriff's office that said unanimous sheriff win.
Because clearly whoever owned that gas station was sleeping inside. Like, they couldn't afford much.
Well, fuck him.
Well, yeah, I mean, the fire did.
So like he gets arrested. They treat him awful in the station, and then
That one guy was like, we should
David Caruso. Yeah.
Like, he shouldn't treat him awful.
They're like, hey, don't fucking do that. They're like, fuck you. We'll do it if we want. Like, it's so wild.
Was that the guy from CSI?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. He looked very young. So then fucking Rambo
he got a
freaks
black
out,
eye in this movie.
beats everybody up, and fucking escapes from the jail and runs off. And from like the second,
when he's any movie that has a sidekick out the window is fucking glorious. When he did that sidekick to the cop and they just show him go out the window, I'm like, I don't know how many stories that was, but he's dead.
But it's fucking awesome.
They're like, oh my god, the bad cop falls out the helicopter and he's like, he killed an officer. I'm like, that one guy was dead. The one that got kicked out the window
think he was.
is fucking dead.
I think it's like a first floor
He landed
window.
on
I think
his
it's
neck.
fine.
Whether he was first floor, fourth floor, whatever.
But then fucking Rambo runs out the door, sees a guy on a motorcycle, kicks him off, takes it, and
Did you see the spin?
Yeah.
Did you see
It ruled.
that he grabs it, intentionally does another 360s before he gets on it,
zips off.
but like a tip tap, kind of like it's not suave like he's like looking around. It's like it was 5 steps in that spin.
I loved it. But like, so then fucking the sheriff is like, I gotta get him. That's when he gets really horny to catch him, and he fucking chases him into the woods. And like, from the minute that Rambo loses the motorcycle, and like that whole chase, that whole like fight in the woods, it's like I kept thinking like, well, what the fuck else can happen? Like, what? How much more can happen? And it's like there's an hour and 10 minits left in the movie, and it just kept feeling like,
that's
what
why
the fuck
I kept thinking
happens?
like, okay, someone else. They're gonna call a specialist to catch him.
That's when his like commanding officer shows up.
But not him. That's a different story. I mean,
that's
like,
different.
they're gonna get a crew
bring in a guy.
Or something.
That would have made sense.
And all they brought in was the
shitty National Guard, the volunteer, like part-time National Guard.
I know this isn't the first movie. Can we make a new trope that just says goofy National Guard? Like, does any of these movies have the National Guard that's kind of just dumb?
That's a bonus. If it gets it, it's a bonus, but it doesn't count against it.
Okay. Okay, well, this one has it.
Let's check it.
So fucking dumb. And what were they replicating? Like the flag on the like the guys raising the flag in the World War II?
Oh, yeah, the Iwo Jima.
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah. They were doing something like that.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
It's dumb.
They sucked. So...
I mean, he had a great point, like, how do we find his body now?
Yeah.
And he's like, you can't get equipment up here. He goes, yeah, so figure something out, you dumbass.
I love that he's like, well, we can't get equipment up here to dig him out. Well, someone's going to have to do it by hand. He's like, yeah, you fucking do it. You caused this.
Yeah.
And he's like, but I got to get back to my shop. And you're like, I don't care. It's going to be fucking blown up tomorrow anyway. I don't care.
Store.
Oh, that's what it was.
It actually is pretty smart that, like, you're supposed to, if you're ever, like, lost, you actually are supposed to follow rats because they go up to oxygen. Yeah. I always say I didn't know that, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's following the rats, and then they try to kill him.
Okay, so continuing with the tropes, number 4 is existential threat. So, like in Jaws,
him in the woods. That's what I was. That's what's the unknown fear.
Okay.
That's what I said.
So I think that I said yes, and to me the existential threat is to Rambo. It's the way that the country treated the Vietnam vets when they came home.
Like a bunch of losers out there.
Well, like the World War II veterans come home and they throw them a fucking parade because they defeated the Nazis, but Vietnam vets come
Yeah, they
home
got
and they
shat
call them
on.
baby killers and spit on them and shit. Like,
Yeah.
and obviously, I think it's fairly obvious that I'm pretty like anti-war and all that type of stuff, and
you're
like
a
I
pussy.
think that like the Vietnam War was fucking awful, you know. But like,
so they had a little
don't
chemical
fucking
disturbance.
but
so
don't
they
fucking
cough
treat
more,
them that
whatever.
way when they get home. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
I will say for 82, you're like, damn, like this is
evil.
pretty fucking hard. This is on the nose, man.
Yeah, like that's what is
before
so
its time,
impressive
let's put it
about
that
this
way.
movie, you know.
Yeah.
And like is what's so ridiculous about the movies that it then like spawns later, you know.
Yes.
But yeah, that's the
concur.
existential threat for me.
But I leave it at him. He's the threat.
He's
and I
the
know
threat.
we didn't really specify
Hey,
of what
that's-
it has to be, but he is the threat.
You call him like you see him, buddy, and that's fine.
Rambo.
First Blood Part 2.
That's pretty good. The first
I love it.
part too.
Okay, number 5, Tiger Shark. There's no Tiger Shark. There's a misdirect early
yes,
on.
Yes, I think the tiger shark
What's the
is
misdirect?
when they think. No, I'm sorry. When they think that they killed him. I'll call that a misdirect for them.
You know
That's
what?
the tiger shark. Because once again, it's in reverse.
It reverses.
Just like how the
the
fear
existential
is-
threat is reversed. Yeah. Okay, you turned me around. I'm checking it. You convinced me.
Jackoff's gun.
No, we did Jackoff's gun already.
Yeah, I just want to say it.
It's funny. I mean, I like it. Number 6, Hooper.
I like when we disguise the tropes that I don't remember what they are. That's
I don't
fun.
like when we do that, but I keep doing it because
That's fun.
I like coming up with fun names for it.
What's 6?
Hooper. Is there a Hooper? Like the scientist they bring in from the outside. I mean, I guess you could kind of say
his
the commanding
colonel.
officer, but like I don't.
His current, yeah, because he gives him guidance. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you turned me on that one too.
Because once again, do you feel bad about that? Like saying yeah, because there's none of these. How do I say this? None of these really feel wrong to agree to. You know what I'm saying? Like they seem like they're flowing like they're natural.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. And
There's
we already
nothing I'm
talked
really
about.
on the fence about.
We already talked about number 7, "Smile, you son of a bitch." The iconic catchphrase. They drew first blood.
I love that they drew first blood because it's like, I know you are, but what am I? It's kind of like a childish, like they did it first.
They started it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is so impactful that he's like, I was just trying to fucking get lunch. They fucking did this
But
to
even
me.
even still, he was getting lunch. Even after that, he was still being a good. Even though he was kind of like getting angry, he was still being a good sport until they started hurting him.
Yeah. He didn't kill anybody. And that's when
Because they hit him in the spine and then they do the delousing thing.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, this is fucked up. But then after that, when they're like, shave him, like without shaving him, he's like, yeah, fuck it, dude.
No, he sees the knife coming at him and he like freaks
He
out.
does put up with an awful lot
Yeah.
before then. So you're like, yeah, it wasn't just he wanted to eat lunch. He was just like, fuck this. This is terrible, but whatever. It was when he like all of a sudden flashback was like, oh,
He's like, I'm just trying to get by, you know.
Yeah.
But there's such a long stretch in this movie where Stallone doesn't have a fucking word of dialogue, and it's incredible. Where
That's
he's
why
like
the ending is so
going through the
impactful.
fucking woods, and man, yeah, no, you're right.
I was wondering about before they blew it up. I'm like, is he just gonna live in this little house? This is his new house. He's eating the pig. Like, oh,
Yeah,
he's gonna save some for his friends.
I like that he tied his knife to a stick to make it a spear to get the fucking pig.
Why would you not?
I don't know. I just liked it. I thought it was cool.
What'd you do? Sharpen the stick? Stab a guy in the dick? That what you're gonna do?
Sharpen a bunch of sticks, stab a guy in the dick.
Man, I'm gonna get both your thighs and your dick.
Unless it's
I don't know,
too
I have
short,
one big one
and then I might
of
not get it.
of a big one coming around from the back, get you in the ass.
But if I target it right, it'll just go up there and not actually cut you at all. Like, oh, no.
yeah, I didn't sharpen it at all. It's just a log in the ass. Knife in
Lubed
the
up
dick,
good.
log in the ass. Rambo.
Rambo.
I drew first blood.
I drew first butt.
You drew first blood. I draw first butt. That's also a recut.
Oh, jeez.
It's just him drawing butts on trees with a knife.
I like when he's out in the woods when he does the stabbing in the dick.
No,
I like that
Gravity did that.
I like that he just is out there setting up all these traps, and guys just keep going, sheriff! Like, they keep going. He's like, fuck, he's getting them all. I love it.
It made me think of the one guy that kept going, whale. And
That's
I'm
like 5 guys do that.
What's it? I thought it was the same guy.
One guy starts it, and then everyone keeps getting caught up and calling for him. And I'm like,
I was going to say, man, I'd feel so bad if that was that actor because he sounds like such a bitch yelling Will. And I'm like, what if all the other guys are like, I can take it. Like, Will, I'm hurt. Will. Like, I'm like, man, the director wasn't like, no, you're not that much of a pussy. Like, don't quit doing it like that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, no, I thought that scene was incredible. The way that he like sneaks around and gets everybody, and he doesn't kill him. Like the his commanding what was his name, Troutman. What he says when he gets there is like, he left you guys alive. You were lucky. Like all that. I'm not here to save him from you. I'm here to save you from him.
I will say, I'm like, so number one, the gas station owner. I was thinking about he should be the villain in the second movie. Like that's his motive. Is like throwing my gas station and then my ammo store.
He burned first gas station.
But I was thinking, I'm like, when he leaves the sheriff alive for the second time, I'm like, that sheriff better be in the second movie as a villain.
I don't think he is. Like we should watch it just for fun.
He does a crowdfunding thing, and then he gets the money to like hire a hitman to fucking get him. Like he's like poor Lex Luthor.
Brian Dennehy would be a good Lex Luthor. Actually, have you ever seen Manhunter?
Big time. No, I have no idea what that is.
So Manhunter is the original version.
Martian?
No, it's the original version of Red Dragon that came out before Silence of the Lambs, and Brian Dennehy is Hannibal Lecter.
Oh.
And I thought, like, watching him in this, I was like, I would like to see that. Also...
But you didn't.
I haven't yet. Also, speaking of Silence of the Lambs and Red Dragon, I recently watched The Menu.
Oh, I don't... That doesn't seem interesting.
I thought it was really good. I actually liked it a lot. And Ralph Fiennes in that movie is like... Watching him in that movie, I was like, he would be so fucking good as Hannibal Lecter right now. Like, he would be so good in that role.
That would be fun to have him play both roles.
He would be so good in that role right now. Like, it really...
Pitched up the chain of command and see what they do.
I've sent out some emails. I just, when I went into my contacts...
Were they to me? Because I got a bunch of emails proposing this idea.
Did you read them?
No.
Can I get your stamp of approval on this?
I saw him in my spam when I was trying to find something.
Can I get your approval on this? Or, yeah?
It just, the headline was "You Up."
Yeah, that's right. I want to know. Tell me.
Was that all the tropes?
No, we got one more. Which we touched on earlier.
Goofy National Guard.
No, ooh, check that.
Nailed it.
No, we've got one more. The USS Indianapolis. That's the scene that elevates the rest of the movie.
Absolutely.
We already talked about it. So you think the end, that like his emotional breakdown, I think so too. I think that's like, because it's up until that, there's some great themes, there's some great moments, some really interesting stuff. And up until that point, it was like, oh, this is a cool action movie that has a little more weight to it than a lot of other ones at the time. But like that scene really made it like, it brought home the emotion of it.
Yeah. It didn't leave you wanting anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when the credits rolled, you're like, good. That was a fucking great.
Yeah.
That was a great movie. Like, I can't believe I'm 37 now and I've not seen Rambo.
First Blood.
Because I do like action movies. And I'm kind of like, fuck, how have I not seen this whole movie?
The thing of it is, though,
I haven't seen all of Rocky either. There's a lot of movies I just haven't seen.
I've seen Rocky 1, 2, 3. I might have seen 4 a long time ago. I definitely haven't seen 5 or Rocky Balboa.
You've seen the Creeds?
I've seen one of the Creeds, which I thought was really good. Yeah. No, but like, so this is like, I know you love those like 90s cheesy action movies, like huge, over-the-top, crazy.
Most
of
them are Arnold.
This is where the like intense dramas of the 70s start like bleeding into like becoming action, and then from that they turn crazy and goofy and like super over the top,
how should I say it? For as Predator of a movie as this is, like Predator is just nothing but action.
And it's similar because it's all out in the jungle,
too. It's such a crazy premise. It is pretty similar to Predator.
Yeah.
It's just that Sylvester Stallone is the Predator.
Well, yeah, and everyone else is hunting him for some reason.
For how much crazy shit happens in this, it doesn't exactly feel like an action movie.
No, it really doesn't. It just feels like
I guarantee that all the Rambos coming up are going to be much more action-packed, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But even still, this is more... this is a half a drama. You're just like, because you're feeling for the character.
I think it's even more. I think it's like 70% drama. I think that's a huge part of it, like, and what makes it good.
It has action sequences, but it's really just like him trying to survive.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a man who is lost in like modern society after having like lived the brutality of war, and like the bonds that he forged with these other men are all gone because they're all dead except for him, and he doesn't know how to relate anymore, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting that there is no comic relief, like at all.
No, not at all.
Like,
there's no joke.
Like the Colonel, there's a friend.
I thought it was funny when that guy fell out of the helicopter because he was such a dick.
There's a friendly aspect, but there's zero comedy in this at all.
No, not at all.
There's no laugh.
No jokes, no levity.
There's not one laughing point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's
it's hard to think back.
It's
hard to think back on any movie that I've not laughed once.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. What about Jaws? Was there anything funny in Jaws?
Yeah, the first part where those two kids are staring at each other awkwardly, like, what are you guys doing, you weirdos?
I don't think that's intentional comedy.
There's been plenty of funny parts in that movie.
Yeah, Quint.
Well, he's
I had a couple.
No, Quint, but he was so goofy.
He was funny.
He was kind of.
He had some funny stuff for sure. I had a few people comment to me on the fact that you called him Quilt several times and really enjoyed that. Quilt.
Yeah.
You called him Quilt.
He's an idiot. I don't like him at all. That fucking fake fat guy. Like,
Norm Macdonald?
Yeah, bullshit, dude.
I loved him.
Well, there we go.
Yeah,
I got 6 out of 8. But yeah.
I got 7 out of 8.
If no one knows,
you turned me on 2 of them.
Rambo's worth the watch if you didn't know.
Yeah, you turned me on 2 of them. And I don't actually know what we're going to do next week yet.
Nice.
I've got our list. You have one that you would like to do, and I have one that I think would be a better choice that we're going to discuss after this. And we'll let you know what we end up landing on. But
cool. I'm excited as everybody else.
I don't know what's what. We're going to see.
I have no fucking idea what we're going to do.
No, I made a point I was like, we'll talk about this before we record, and then I forgot.
I'm letting the listeners know that I'm fucking excited too. Just as you are, like, I can't wait to find out what we're all watching.
Yeah. Same. Me too. All right. So, you got anything else before we wrap this up?
Well, I started thinking of a memory that was only half there. So,
nope. All right.
So no, I don't have anything to say.
All right. Okay, well, great movie. You got 6 out of 8. I got 7 out of 8.
Well, I actually got 7 out of 8 if you count the National Guard.
You got 7 out of 9. I got 8 out of 9.
I do 7 out of 9.
Yeah, I got 8 out of 9.
Perfect.
A hypothetical 9.
All right.
Fuck it.
Let's do this.
Well, thanks for listening this week. Tell all your friends about us and be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you like what we do, you can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us online at KeystoneCopycats.com. We're at Keystone Copycats on Instagram and Facebook, and at Keystone Copycat on Twitter. If you got something to say, you can email us at KeystoneCopycats@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 513-239-7682. Check out Sinclarity, A Dinosaur's Tale if you're bored. And until next time, I'm going to be Zach, and he's going to be...
Tapotamus Chicotamus.